is TWiP. All right, folks, let's get this party started, shall we? Let's do the screen share. Here we go. And first up is Karen Sweeney. Karen says, my return to photography in the great outdoors was cause for celebration. Today was a great day to be alive. Two frame panorama on her Nikon D850 plus a 50 millimeter 1.8. Snowy trees. Let's take a look.
Yeah. That's
look at
awesome.
That. Let's get our mugs off the screen so we can see the shot.
Don't want our heads in there.
Yeah, in the trees. Get your head out of the trees,
Right.
Troy.
Yes, that's what I was always told when I was a kid. Yeah. Great image. I really, really like this. My first thought, I love the panoramic, the sun dead center. I think it really works here for this. I kind of wish that the trees were a little bit more silhouette. Like I would be okay if the darks went a little bit darker, but other than that, I really dig it. I have a sense that those light rays were added in post, and they feel a little bit too symmetrical, too artificial, if I could say it that way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if I'm wrong, then they're amazingly artificial looking natural light rays. It's
That's
still
interesting.
gorgeous.
I wonder. Well, I don't know. I think, yeah, that's a good question. I think it's interesting that we go there with that, right? That we have to say are those light rays real, right? Because 10 years ago, you wouldn't be able to have made that comment. Right now, we can make that comment.
Yeah, and I think for me the giveaway is if you look at where the sun is, if you look at like 9-10 o'clock, the light rays that are coming out of there should be behind some of those trees, not in front of all the trees. So basically, those light rays are saying to me that light source is way in front of all the trees as opposed to behind the trees. Mm-hmm. So this is where some luminosity blending, like what we talked about on the last Member Mixer, and Renee showed a way to do that. The light should go behind some of the trees and in front of some of the others, so that just makes it look more natural. You won't get a straight streak right out of those.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Regardless, I love the shot.
And remember, the topic of this show is celebration, right? So keep that in mind.
Yes.
And does this fit into the celebration theme? Borders on this one. What do you think of the border treatment?
I like borders, and I'm not opposed to this one. I think it's done nice and subtle. This image right now, the way that it's presented, would be perfect for our local and national affiliate competitions, because this is the kind of border that the judges like to see. It separates the image from the display, so to speak. So this is nice and clean, and I like this. I think it sets it off really nicely.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Karen Sweeney. And next up is Nora Zanotnis. She says, celebrating the Inca Festival of the Sun.
Oh, how fun. Outside, around other people.
Oh, man. Yeah, I just thought about that. See, thanks for bringing me back to reality. Now my brain is like, none of those people have masks on. How dare they?
I keep having these dreams that I'm at events where people aren't wearing masks, and it makes me nervous. It just, But Nora, I love your shot. I love this. Great composition. Wonderful colors. I love this. This has to be color, right? Like sometimes we talk black and white. This has to be color.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah, that's part of the story. The color is definitely part of the story. Without it, I mean, it would still be a great image, depending on how it was processed, right? Because you could, in black and white, you could pop those ladies out of there and make them crisp, and it would still be interesting. But I think the color sells it, and it's definitely part of the culture here and part of the story. So I dig it,
right?
And it's celebration, obviously.
Right, absolutely. My only nit would be like two little things is I would love to see the background taken down a little bit more, but a little bit more intentionally and evenly. I can see a vignette around the outside edge of the image, but in between the ladies, it's bright. So it looks to me like the grass was burned down on the outside, but not in between them.
Oh,
So
like in here, like right in this area right here, right?
yeah. And if if anybody has watched Joshua, low base guy, on his Twitch stream, he does this with a lot of his insects and a lot of his reptiles, a lot of his stuff. He spends a lot of time masking to properly burn down the background just enough to separate your subject. It is incredibly time consuming, but it is so worth it to do that. Mm-hmm. So I suggest, go check out his stuff. Just take your time and burn that stuff down.
With a shot like this, I'm a Capture One infant, right? But in a shot like this, if I wanted to say, I want to bring those, I only want to work on the values that are in the grass, mm-hmm. or the dead grass there. So I want to. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out. I want to change. I want that grass to be green because the client says the grass needs to be green and they feel bad because it's brown. Can you do that? Can you do that in Capture One? Like just target those browns? And yeah, obviously the drums would be captured too, but you could mask that out. And then just, would it be realistic if you wanted to make that grass green in Capture One?
No. See, that's one of the things with Capture One is that you're not going to be able to put color where color really doesn't exist to that level. You mm-hmm. could shift the tone a little bit, but you're not going to be able to completely do a color replacement. That's something that you could do in Photoshop. What you could do here is you could check the grass based on luminosity value and maybe even color. And then that way you could do a better mask to bring the tone down and shift the hue a little bit. But you're not really going to be able to shift it a lot. One thing that Capture One will do is you can change that red to another color and the blue to another color because there's a lot of saturation there. So you can continually shift the hue wheel, which only shifts 30 degrees, by the way. So you have to keep selecting it and shifting it, select it and shift it. But you could make those red suits blue and the blue red if you wanted to, or green. You could definitely shift that. So, but the grass, it really won't add enough data there.
So that'd be a good experiment to take the original raw file of this shot and just play around with swapping colors in here, like the reds of the foreground dancers, changing the reds of the background guys back there, the golds of their hat to silver or something, the green garbed people to some other color. Yeah, you could change the whole thing. That's interesting. And it would look realistic, right? In Capture One, it not overdone.
Yeah, it would look really good. And one of the things that you can do is in Capture One is that you could select the reds in the back and you could bring the luminosity down so that your eye isn't drawn to it as much. You could bring the reds in the foreground up ever so slightly in brightness, and then your eyes are drawn to that. So you create this depth within the image just by little subtle dodging and burning of colors, affecting the luminosity and saturation.
Yeah. Very cool.
And because it's shot with a long lens, it compresses the background so people are all stacked. Yeah. So that's just the nature of it. Yeah.
Could you accomplish that in Lightroom?
To be fair, I don't know what the latest Lightroom is capable of, but up until maybe a year ago, that would be virtually impossible to do. So I really don't know. I haven't launched it to see what's new.
You haven't even launched the new Lightroom yet?
Wow. No, I don't even install it. I go, yeah, I'm not going to install you.
Oh, wow. Well, you don't want to be tempted, or you just don't want to, you just hate it?
No, I just hate it. And I don't want it to break anything. And any of the jobs that I would need to point Lightroom at are jobs that are 3 to 5 years old anyway. Mm-hmm. So I just leave the version I have, and I just need to go back and access that data and translate it.
Wow.
I really just don't have a desire to get into that. So
nice. Cool. All right. Thank you, Nora, for that shot.
Yeah, see, you never know which image we're going to talk about a lot.
I know. You never know. Here's Amy Brooks. She says, even in COVID 2020, is that how we're referring to it now? We got to put it years on them now. COVID 2020, there were good times to celebrate. Yes. bring this
Oh,
up.
that's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. I really love that because these type of images arguably are not portraits, right? So they weren't lit, they weren't posed, they weren't set up. But these are how we remember our lives and our day to day. And my favorite thing about this whole shot is her. I'm assuming that's like her daughter or whatever, or nephew or niece or whatever. But she's got her left hand on his back.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows that there is a connection there, right? Like they're family or they're friends or they're close. And I just love that. I to me that is so powerful in this shot. But other than that, I just love it. I love the crop and the moment. So it's definitely nice.
I was looking at this photo and I was thinking, so I was trying to figure out who's who in this shot. So obviously we have the graduate, but then I'm like, is that dad? But if that was dad, he seems like he just wants a picture like of him with her in the background. But
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know.
My daughter, I'd have my hand around her, and it's something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, or she's like, don't wrinkle the gown, don't crush, and of course, during graduation, they're running around from person to person, getting their photo taken, saying hi to everybody. So I don't know. I just love that. I love that point of contact. I love that personal connection. The shot is fun. I think that if we're going to take this into Photoshop or Capture One or Lightroom and do a little bit of tweaking to it, again, I would try to create some depth using light. I would try to bring some more light into their faces. Darken the background, the highlights on the floor a little bit, little things like that. It doesn't need to be a lot, but just enough to bring their faces out.
No, for sure. Yeah. Very cool. Cool shot. All right. And that was Amy. Thank you, Amy Brooks. Next up is Eric Pronsky. Eric says, simple fireworks shot off by my son in front of our house. I used the black slider in Capture One to deepen the black tones to hide the distracting things in the shadow areas. With a Voigtlander 15 mil too. Let's take a look.
Oh, those Voigtlanders are nice lenses.
Look at that.
Yeah, I really enjoy this, and I got to tell you, I wish it was horizontal. I know that might not be how it was shot, but I love reading images horizontally, and I always enjoy the space that the horizontal image gives us. So I would rotate it. You could rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on how it makes you feel. But I think rotating it would really be great. But other than that, it's spectacular, just the way it is. Yeah, I love the simplicity.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I love I like simple things like we were talking about before, right? The simplicity of this is very, very intentional, and even the crop of it to get this line down here, this firework arm in there, and the crop is following that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm on the fence on horizontal versus vertical. You know what? When I thought about when I first saw this shot, I looked at it and I thought Big Bang. It's like, this is what the Big Bang looked like, but it was just a little bang. Right.
Yeah, very fun though.
Yep, very cool. All right, moving right along. More fireworks from Craig Stampfully. Eye level Australia Day celebration.
There we go.
There we go.
This is one of my favorite, and I always love fireworks in black and white because they almost never happen that way. Almost nobody ever shows them in black and white because we want to see the color. But this really works because of the freeway to the left, the dark waterway in the middle. You've got that Ferris wheel off to the right, a couple boats, and then the fireworks in the center. The whole image is really just kind of telling us a story without the distractions of all the color. I dig it. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you though about the lack of color. When I see fireworks, the expectation is color. So I like the fact that he went in the opposite direction. You know, as Australians do, you know, even with their toilet bowl swirling. But I was thinking, like, you know, I like the intentionality of taking something that is normally associated with bright, vivid colors and just getting rid of the color altogether, and, you know, making it about the light instead of the color and the light. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would probably play with the cropping a little bit and maybe some dodging, or basically some burning is to get rid of some of that freeway in the lower left-hand corner. I don't know if we can burn it down a little bit more, crop it off a little bit. I feel like it's not the left side, the bottom side, crop off from the bottom.
Oh, down here. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of that black hole kind of on the lower right corner and get rid of a little bit of that freeway. I think that it might clean it up a little bit. I like the curve of that transition ramp in there. So I wouldn't want to take that out, and I don't want to crop out the boat on the right, you know, like that party boat.
Yeah.
But I think we could do without that. Yeah.
How long of an exposure do you think this was? You got to check and see if he said.
10 seconds maybe.
Did he say? He didn't tell us, did he? No, he didn't tell us. 10 seconds, huh? Yeah, I wonder. It's interesting. Yeah, Steven's in the chat. Steven says he said he'd lower the luminance on the Ferris wheel just a little.
Yeah.
Scotia's little in Japanese, by the way. A little bit.
Is it really?
It's a little bit in Japanese, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was a Japanese word.
It is. Skoshi is the word. Skosh is the cool way of saying it.
Oh, it's the slang. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Moving right along. And more fireworks. Celebration in the city. Note, the photo was cropped at the bottom above the position of the fireworks reflection in the back. Oh, okay, so he's saying there's no firework reflection in here. He's letting us know. This is Stephen Scharf, obviously. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Now, see, this border I like, right? So this feels, not that I didn't like the other one, but this one feels especially intentional in here to trap everything in there. It just feels like it's locked in. And yes, I'm putting this on here for a reason. Boom. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, and this is a challenging image for me when it comes to composition and where the crop should be, because there's really two ways to crop this. There's the bridge and the city skyline that just happens to have fireworks in it, or you crop out the bridge entirely, and now it's the fireworks over the city. Because you have so much of that blank sky in there, it sort of puts the fireworks in a position of non-priority. So I love the way it is. It's just a matter of how you want to tell the story.
Well, you could use Luminar AI and put a hot air balloon over there or something, right?
You could, and I have to point out there is like a dead pixel. Right dead center, a little tiny red pixel right in the middle. Yep, right there.
Right there. Yeah, I see that. Maybe that's just a rogue piece of this guy or the next firework that's about to blow up right there.
No.
Yeah. What did we say when we first started these critiques about blank area and what it's for?
Text.
That's text. That's where the headline is supposed to go.
Yeah,
that's where you put this giant Futura extra bold font that says San Francisco. Comic Sans. San Francisco. I love it. You know what? I'm trying to figure out. I see where Steven is. I've never been on this side of the bridge over there. I've been on the left. Is this the? Oh, this is Treasure Island. Is this Treasure Island? Yeah, this is Treasure Island. It looks like he shot this from Treasure Island. Okay.
I have no idea.
I was thinking that was the Golden Gate. That is not the Golden Gate Bridge. That is the Bay Bridge. So he is probably standing on Treasure Island. Yep.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. I think it's a spectacular image. And just all of the things said, massive kudos to getting the composition, tack sharp, city with those wonderful reflections. And I think that it's great that that you didn't leave in the firework reflection in the water, because I think a lot of people would really want to do that, because I'm sure it looks beautiful when you're standing there, but you've got to decide, where do you put your horizon,
Yeah.
and I think this was a good call. This is a really good call.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. This is, definitely, this is a meticulous professional shot, Stephen, except for this red pixel right there.
Yeah.
Which is going to bug the crap out of him. I know it's going to bug him.
And I think that, obviously I don't have the actual image in front of me, but it feels to me like the blacks within the image might be able to go down a tad. The sky is a little bit brighter, but of course maybe that's not the case, because it's over San Francisco, so it's going to be kind of bright. So
yeah, it's a lot of light pollution over there. And I mean, this rock over on the left here I don't know what the values are, but that looks pretty close to black to me.
Yeah.
But this is cool. Yeah, even if you want to do some compositing on a shot like this too, because you could definitely put other fireworks in the sky if you wanted to. No one would know. No one would know. Yeah, cool shot, Stephen. Thank you.
Yeah,
definitely.
Brilliant.
Oh, Yerba Buena Island, he said. Okay, yeah.
I have no idea. It could be whatever you say it is.
It's us Northern California people. You Southern Californians wouldn't understand how it goes up here.
No, but I want to visit it. I want to come visit it and stand on it.
Yeah, and do the shot, or do a shot like this. Not this one. I flew my drone. Stephen Scharf's in the chat. Stephen, I stood on Yerba Buena Island and flew my drone from there all the way to the pier in San Francisco, and then chickened out because I was getting weak signal errors, and then I could see it in sight. I wanted to hover on it and then come back, but I chickened out and came back because I didn't want to lose the drone or drown the drone. Yeah, this was by the way, Stephen, this was before they started all the construction over there. And the drone, to time date it, the drone I was using was the Phantom. So the white Phantom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a Phantom. It was my first drone too. It was a Phantom.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Stephen Scharf. Does it again. Is that no? That's it, right? Yeah, because that one was botanical. So cool. All right. Now it comes to favorite time, and now these favorites are important now. So community, you understand why favorite picks. We are nonchalant about our favorite picks, but they actually have some weight to them. Just ask the Peter Lefshin about that weight.
And to just add to that statement is that Peter has agreed to put in a $300 cash purse for the next competition winner on top of whatever else we can throw in. So yeah, it's on. The race is on. Yeah, it is on.
Yeah. And this next one, well, obviously, like we said at the top of the show, will be, we'll have improved the technology behind things so it'll look better. Yeah. But also there'll be some sponsorship prizes and other things in there as different vendors sign on to get the word out about their products by giving you guys stuff. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win all the way around. So speaking of that win-win, who's your favorite pick?
I really got to go with Stephen Scharf's. I mean, as much as I like Craig's, I think compositionally, Stephen's is very super clean. It's really easy to read what it is. There's no distracting elements in there whatsoever. Craig's is super fun, and I love the black and white, and I love the fact that it's sort of a different take on that. But there are a bunch of distracting elements, highlight elements, and stuff in there. So yeah, this one's good. This one's exceptional. I like it. Pretty good, Stephen. Yeah. Stephen, you have the honor of being the first critique winner favorite of 2021. How about that? Yeah. Work Picks 360. Mark says, "Will we ever give out a tie?" Ooh, I don't know. maybe it would have to be really, really, really close. So
Yeah. 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 We got close. We did that a couple of times over the last year, right?
we did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of ties, but we try to avoid them. Normally we're on the same page, but
Yeah.
I think the things that shift the balance are borders and fire.
And infrared at the proper time. Yeah.
Yes. And if you put all those things together, just forget about it, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Troy's brain would explode if you put everything on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, very good. Congratulations, Stephen Scharf. Awesome shot. Beautiful.
Yes. Fantastic. So many good images.
So, Workpick says, "Oh boy, do I have to send in a camera now?" Yeah, it's looking like you're gonna have to get one modified. I've been saying I'm gonna modify a camera for 3 years. I haven't done it. Literally 3 years. I've been talking about.
All I gotta say is, for evidence to the infrared amazingness, is just look at some of the stuff that Michael Rhino has been posting lately.
Yeah.
Every time he goes out, he takes a couple infrared shots, and they just come back, and they are wonderful. So, but hey, as Peter would say, don't share that with anybody because he doesn't want any competition. So
Exactly. Well, see, my thing is, I wanna do it, but the quote extra cameras I have are Micro Four Thirds. I only have one full frame camera, and that's the S1, which I love. I'm not modifying that, so I don't know if I. And then the two main ones that I would use are maybe this GH4 that I'm on now, and I've got a GH5 over there. I can't use my G9 because I love the G9 for just regular photography and almost everything. So I get stuck in analysis paralysis with that,
Something to consider when you go to infrared, and I don't have any technical backing to prove any of this, but I spoke with a gentleman that should have. But basically, when you convert a camera to infrared, you completely eliminate the green channel. So the green channel gets no data whatsoever. So basically, if you take a 30 megapixel camera, you've now made it 20 megapixels because you're not using a third of the sensor because there's no green data at all, not even detailed data. It's completely ignored. So you add that to a Micro Four Thirds.
You're Micro really, 2/3.
Well, you're really challenging the latitude of the image. You're really challenging your exposure latitude. So keep that in mind.
So what are you saying? I'm justified in not converting a Micro Four Thirds camera to infrared?
Yes, but you are not justified in not converting a camera at all.
Yeah.
So
see, what do you do then? So if you got a bunch of Micro Four Thirds cameras and one main camera that is full frame, we'll go buy a used full frame camera and have that converted.
Yeah. Go buy one. I mean, look, it's if you can get a full frame within your system, like for me with the Nikon Z system, they're all full frame. I got all full frame glass, super easy. I just add another body. For you're going to have to make the investment. Now you can convert the S1, and he can unconvert it later if you decide you want to go back to color.
That's surgery, man. It's like, yeah, you could have a vasectomy, but because it can be reversed later. I'm not doing that.
It's not.
No, that's my first full frame camera. I am not messing with that thing and voiding the warranty on it. Come on, no, because that voids the warranty, right? Obviously, if you do infrared conversion.
No, only if they know about it. There's no telltale signs.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
No. I've had to do it on my Nikons. I had a Nikon D810 that I had converted, and I needed to send it in for service. And I knew at the time Nikon would be a huge stickler on that, so I paid $100. I think Spencer's charges half of what the conversion was to unconvert it. So conversion's about $300. So I paid $150, unconverted it, sent it in, got my warranty work done, and then paid the other $150 to have it reconverted back.
So you're $600 in on infrared conversion.
Oh, dude, I've converted like 9 cameras, so I'm
Well, there's my solution right there. You could just send me an infrared camera. Done. I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, you want a Nikon? You got to have Nikon glass. You sold all your stuff.
I did, but you could send me Nikon glass. Chat room, what do you think about that? You think he should do that? Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, no, one day I'm going to do that. One day I'm going to do that. I'm going to get one. It's not at the top of my priority list, but, I enjoy looking at infrared photography immensely.
So here's something you could do. If you're sort of in the middle of the road, is go to Spencer's, go to look at the cameras that he has for sale. He has some smaller, already with a lens, point and shoot kind of thing, right? Yeah. Go buy yourself something with a 50 millimeter on it. Could be a Sony. It doesn't really matter what it is, and that's just your infrared camera. You don't have to have all your glass. It's still fun. You can still create, landscapes if you're a landscape guy. Get something with a little bit wider piece of glass. If you're like a portrait wedding guy like me, get something with like an 80 millimeter. You're done. You're done for a long time.
I wonder if you can rent that. Does Borrow Lenses or Lens Rentals rent infrared modified bodies and lenses or bodies?
No, but they should. But unfortunately, if they did, I bet nobody would rent them because nobody sees the use for them. But, it's kind of like the drug dealer, right? Like, go buy yourself a little cheapy camera, and the next thing you have is you'll have a new S1 on your list to convert.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have the S1. I may be upgrading or getting an additional full frame camera in 2021 because apparently there's some things in the works. So maybe the S1 that I have now is going to be destined to be infrared. But see, then what'll happen is I'll be like, I need a backup to that one if I'm going to, so I can't convert it because it needs to,
This is the first time that I have ever been down to one infrared camera. And it really bums me out because normally I have at least 2, sometimes 3. And mostly because I can't really go out and do all the kind of shooting that I want to do. But when I can start mixing in the world again, I'm going to be buying at least probably 2 more Z6s or a used Z7, and I'll convert that to infrared. So I have another, because I like to set up like time lapse or long exposure type stuff in infrared, or I'm shooting like a video sequence, and then I want another camera over here shooting something all in infrared. Got to have a couple bodies for that.
Yeah, so. No, for sure. See, and now we've come full circle. Hence the minimalism quandary of the minimalist photographer who can't be minimalist because stuff. Keep getting all this stuff. Yeah, there's so much stuff though, man. Like take for example your DJI. What's that little thing? The Pocket.
Pocket, yeah.
The Pocket. You look at their website. There's so much stuff you can do with that thing. It's amazing, which is why you have one, right?
Right.
But have you created anything close to the quality of work that they show on there? Or has it just been, hey, look what I can do, and the head moves, and you put it back in the case, right?
So on my first DJI Pocket, I did create some really amazing stuff. A lot of you guys know that I'm into pottery, and I have a pottery studio that I go to down here in Santa Ana called Muddy Studio. And I did a promo video for them. So I used the Pocket to do time lapse of them loading, unloading the kiln. I also put it on a pole to do what I call flyovers within the studio without actually using a drone to create all the wind turbulence and everything over the top of people. So yeah, it was brilliant. And the 2 was even better. So
yeah, that's so cool. That is so cool. If you could do that, I mean, if I could plug the Pocket into the iPad Pro and, like you said, have it follow you around the room, and it's got that detachable mic thing, so you could have good audio and tracked video and have that come into and show up as a webcam in some other software, that'd be ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous.
I know. I wish it did that. I'm jonesing on the infrared stuff over here. I'm looking at all the stuff here. They have a Panasonic GX7. That's like $1,300, but you get a brand new camera and a conversion. But they also had in here a Canon. I don't know what this body was. There's a ton of stuff on here.
That GX7 is micro four thirds though, so you're back to that green channel thing.
Yeah, you are. I mean, it's not ideal. You got to kind of like weigh your options, right?
So maybe that's it. Maybe take one of the older cameras, have it converted, and see if I like it. See if I like infrared or not. And if I get bitten by the bug, then invest in better gear. That's probably smart. Yeah, that's probably what Nicole would tell me to do.
Yeah, it's not expensive. It's not expensive to do, and you'll love it. You'll love it anyway. So
much stuff. Got the DJI Pocket. You got to think about infrared. And then I still have yet to take any decent shots other than, hey, look at this thing with the Insta360 I have, work pics. You know what I'm talking about. So I love that 360. I know what it can do, but I have yet to do anything substantive with it. So I don't want any more amazing tech that's just going to sit there. The worst part of things for me of, having gear like that sitting around is when you finally get around to use it and you're like, oh crap, I got to update the firmware on this, right? If you have to update the firmware on some of your gear, then you probably shouldn't have that gear, because you should be like, oh, new firmware, let me install it the day it comes out. And I'm like, this thing's like 3 versions behind on firmware. I got to update it. So.
Yeah, it's rough. It's really rough. I mean, like right now, I'm just not doing a lot of shooting, but get your gear now, learn your gear now, figure it all out now. So when you go out in the world and start creating some amazingness, you're ready to go.
Yep. When it's time to go out into the cold world, which brings me to the topic of next week.
The next topic.
Troy Miller, tell us what next week's photo critique topic is.
So our next topic is cold. Maybe because we're in winter. Maybe because it's cold outside. I don't know. Not in Australia. It's not cold in Australia right now. It's warm. Well, you guys got to deal with that. Next topic is cold. Yeah, it can be whatever you want that refers to cold. So consider your audience. Consider your judges.
Yeah, exactly. Consider
simple,
the audience.
Minimalistic, sci-fi works. Helps, infrared, black and white, sometimes borders. Yep.
Work Pics is in Australia, and he says go to the archive, I guess. Come on, Mark. You can be more creative than that. Something tells me you have a refrigerator in your house with a freezer in it. And you might have a macro lens or two. I don't know. Just saying, just saying, think outside the box, or, take a picture of your significant other after an argument. There you go. That's cool.
Oh yeah. That's going to go over well. Sorry, honey. It was all a plan. I did it all for the photo. You know how important it is.
Exactly. I intentionally pissed you off for the shots.
I'll put all that money back in the account. I promise.
Exactly. I'll take the Tesla back. Okay. Oh man, no, it's gonna be good. This will be an interesting one. I want to see what you do, Troy. What are you gonna do? Like light a ice cube on fire or something?
I've done that. I wonder if I have any of those. I have some really amazing ice photos that I played with in the past. I used to freeze everything and then photograph the ice as it melts, and then the way you light it and stuff. So I'll pick an ice image or something like that. Yeah.
You have those? Don't you have those ice trays that let you freeze the clear cubes, the big ones for whiskey?
Well, there's really no such thing. So those ice trays get you closer to clear cubes.
But you got to put boiled water in it, right, in order to get them clear. Like, what's the secret?
No. The quality of the water is only a very small part of clear ice. The thing about clear ice is that you want to freeze it very, very slowly so that the air can escape, and you don't freeze it really hard. So there's different hardnesses of ice. So right when ice just freezes, right when it just solidifies, it's clear. But if you leave it in there, the colder it gets, the more it freezes, and then the pressure inside forces the air molecules, or the I don't know what you call it, out of the water itself, and that creates the air bubbles, and that creates the white fog.
No, how the hell do you do that then?
Okay, very easy. It's actually very easy. Get yourself a foam insulated cup or something like that. Like I take little small containers and I spray foam around them, and then when you put them in the freezer, water freezes from the top down. So what happens is as soon as it freezes all the way through, just before it gets to the bottom, pop it out, cut the bottom off. You got a solid chunk of perfectly clear ice.
Oh, interesting. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Or the next thing you could do is get yourself an old foam cooler, the little tiny disposable foam ones.
Yeah.
Put your ice cube tray in that, and then put that inside the freezer, and it will just freeze really slow because of the double insulation.
I'm going to try that. I need to find a small enough foam container to fit in the freezer, but I want to try that.
The trick is, just as the ice is frozen, then you take it out.
Well, how do you know? Well,
you got to learn how to grow ice.
It's like cooking steak,
It is. It is like cooking steak. You can look at the ice cube and be like, oh yeah, you're done. Yeah, you're done. You're good. You're solid.
Yeah, that's a talent I need to learn, because that, like, when you have people over, remember back in the days when you could have people over, but when you have people over and you serve whiskey, that's that extra little like classy bit there when you have like a clear giant chunk of ice in there, or a ball, because I have those ball ice trays. But I don't know. I've always wanted to make them clear. I didn't know how to make them clear, so I'm going to experiment.
That's how you do it. Yeah. And if you want to do anything with ice, here's a little trick: is get yourself like a clear cocktail cup, like the plastic cups. Don't use a glass cup, because glass expands. Ice expands. It'll crush it. It'll break. But put some items in the bottom of that little tiny cup, like a galvanized washer, or a nut, or a bolt, or a penny. Something like that, and you'll notice that as it freezes, you start to get these really interesting bubble formations that come off of the object that you've put in there.
Really?
And it creates some crazy looking patterns.
Interesting. All right. So can I throw a gauntlet challenge down at you? So do you have the spherical ice cube trays?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the challenge. All right, and I'm throwing this down to Troy Miller on the stream to the TWiP crew. Can Troy create this? So I'm in client mode now, right? All right, Troy, for this upcoming ad campaign, I need inexplicably suspended, completely clear ice ball on fire.
I already wrote it. I already wrote on fire.
On fire against the black background, but it's got to be very simplistic and modern art looking. Can you do that?
Yeah. Can I use a photo I've already taken?
No. You've got a sphere already taken?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll look at it. I'll look at it and see.
All right.
I'll play with it.
Stephen Scharf is putting a link try to put a link in the chat. Looks like it got blocked somehow. Stephen, send that to me and I'll post it when we post this thing. It's Twitch gating you right there.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So cold is the next one. Let's see what you can do. Yeah. Let's see what you can do. I want to see. I'd love to see the creative interpretations of cold, right? And this community is really good at that, because whatever we say, we get unexpected shots in there. I want to see some not foot in ice shots, or shots of blue icebergs in Reykjavik or anything. I want to see. I want to see interesting things. So. What is Steven saying? Steven in the chat is saying on Amazon. Oh, search for clear ice cube maker on Amazon. Okay, cool. Troy, you can't do that. That'd be cheating. Since you clearly know how to do it the manual way, don't be buying technology to make it happen.
They don't work very well.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I can tell. That's a whole nother discussion about the theories behind clear ice. I can tell you 80% of the videos on YouTube are bogus. The process of making clear ice is completely different than what a lot of people think. But it's a fun challenge. It's really fun to learn how to make clear ice. But like I told you, the trick is to grow it slow, freeze. I looked at the camera again, freeze it slow, and it'll be clear no matter what water you use.
Okay. All right. Well, we shall give it a shot, sir. Well, thank you for the tips on that. I feel like I need to figure that out. That feels like a good host skill to have, just to, especially going to be serving whiskey, right? So, well,
and you only put ice cubes in crappy whiskey and scotch anyway. I mean, if it's good, you don't dilute it with ice.
Here we go. There's that purist. I don't agree. I like ice in there. I don't know.
Your Jack Daniels. Yeah, you need ice.
Well, no, you know what? I have. What do I have in there now? I've got lots of Jack. So I got Gentleman's Jack, Honey Jack, another kind of Jack in there. I forget which one it is. But then there's also Basil Hayden in there. Hayden?
It's all good stuff. It's decent stuff. It all requires 7-Up, Diet Coke, or ice.
Oh, come on. All right. Let's end this with if I'm going to Bevmo today and I'm going to go buy some whiskey, what's the Troy Miller elitist approved whiskey?
You could get some Oban. It's not real expensive, but you don't dilute it. Glenmorangie 18 or 21, I think, would be amazing. You don't dilute that either. Don't put any ice in that or any mixers in that. I can't think of any of the other ones.
Stephen Scharf says, or Talisker. Have you heard of that?
Talisker's also really good. Not Lagavulin. No, I can't do that. Or the Lefroy. I can't do Lefroy.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
It's an acquired taste. They're very peaty and very smoky. Some Lagavulins aren't so bad, but the Lefroy, I've never had one that I like. It's just a flavor palette. They're fantastic, but it's just a flavor palette that I'm not a big fan of. So
have you heard of this one, Lagavulin?
Yeah, Lagavulin. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very peaty. Yeah, it's very peaty.
What does peaty mean? See?
Have you ever smelled a tire on fire?
Yeah, I have.
That's what.
Yeah, all of 2020 was like that.
Yeah. But it's
basically 2020.
Yeah, it's peat moss. Yeah, peaty means it's got that peat moss smell or flavor to it. But yeah, it's a very, very smoky, strong smoky flavor, akin to like burning rubber or plastic or something like that. And
that doesn't sound delicious at all. Like in any way, burning petroleum.
It's like cilantro. It's like some people think cilantro tastes like soap, and other people think that it tastes amazing.
The taste bud thing, yeah. Okay.
It's a flavor. Yeah, it's just a flavor. Yeah, it's worth trying.
Yeah. Okay, so before we end this, Stephen Scharf says he recommends Talisker for me. So is that a good? So I guess based on this conversation, I am a novice whiskey drinker, and I've been drinking pedestrian whiskeys. So if I'm stepping up my whiskey game, what's the next step up from Jack?
Well, okay, so Jack Daniels is bourbon, which is American whiskey. Mm-hmm. You need to try like a single malt Scotch, which is like an Oban. I think Talisker is a single malt Scotch. So they're more caramely, they're smoother, and a lot of people don't actually know how to drink straight spirits. So you got to learn how to drink the spirits.
I tend to just like put it in my mouth and swallow. Is there some other place to ingest it? I don't know.
No, listen. There's a way, right? Drink it how you like, but Inhale through your nose, you take a sip, and as you're swallowing, you exhale through your mouth. And that blows out the alcohol burn, and then you can taste the liquid. Any novice drinker can drink any alcohol like that, and it will never burn or make them cough.
So say that again. Like breathe in. Say that again. Take us through it.
You breathe in through your nose. Take a drink. Exhale as you're swallowing, and you'll just taste the wonderful flavors of the alcohol. I learned that on a distillery tour.
I think I'm going to go try that right now. No, it's too early. It's too early. At least another hour. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. All right. Well, let's end this one. So cold is our topic for next week. Do you want to give a foreshadowing or a hint on the week after that one?
Yes. After that one is open.
Woo!
So yeah, cold then open. So
like it, like Saturday Night Live, cold open. I like it. All right.
If you say so.
Yeah. All right. So I need to go buy some. Would you say Talisker? Was that the one you said?
Talisker and Oban. Oban.
Okay, Talisker and Oban, I got them on my list right here. So, yeah. All right, I'll give you a full report next time we talk on if drinking and then exhaling as I swallow works and changes the experience for me. So we'll see.
It changes the flavor, yeah. All
right, cool. All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in to this here stream. And Stephen says he's been to Oban. I haven't. Into this stream. Thanks for hanging out for us. And for those of you that came by our live award ceremony, thank you for coming by. Once again, congratulations to who?
Peter
Levshin, our winner. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we'll bid you guys a fair adieu, and we will talk. You know, I hate that. I just said that. I hate it when people do. I hate the improper usage of French words in English, in American English. Like when people say, you know, they're just talking about, like, the YouTubers do it all the time. Without further ado, let's get on with it. I'm like, just say without further delay. Speaking your language.
But I'm clever.
Yes, without further ado, you know, I hate that. It's an old man pet peeve. All right. Without further ado, we will end this here live stream. All right, folks. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for popping by. We appreciate you guys. See you next time.
All right. Take care, everybody.
This is TWiP.